Hey guys, this is Hunter, and I'm here to do my first video game console retrospective video. This was inspired to me by a guy named Adam Korlick, another fellow YouTuber I've been watching for a few years. Go check him out if you haven't, if you're into retro gaming, or gaming in general, really. I wanted to kind of do what he did, which was give a retrospective of a video game console, its history, what it was good about it and what was bad about it, some of the games for it, but from the perspective of someone much younger than he is, because that dude is, I think, like 35 almost, and I'm 18, about to be 19, so I figured, it would be a cool idea. And what I wanted to start with was the Nintendo GameCube, which I've got right here. Now, the thing about the GameCube is that I want to ask you guys a question. And I want you to try and come up with an answer if you think you can. What is the GameCube's hook? What reason did people buy, would a person have to buy a GameCube other than because they want to play XYZ game or because it's a Nintendo console? Tell me, what reason? I don't think you can name one. And I surely can't name one either. I can't name a hook for the GameCube because it doesn't really have a hook. Let's look at the other two consoles from the 6th generation that the GameCube was competing against when it first came out. The PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox. The PlayStation 2's hook was that it was a DVD player that was cheaply priced, and it was within that same machine you also got the second PlayStation. And considering how popular the PlayStation 1 was, it sold over 100 million units. That was a big deal in and of itself, because not only did you have all the people who wanted DVD players, you also had all the people who wanted a new PlayStation after the PS1. So both combined to create a juggernaut of success. Now with the original Xbox, they didn't have that same brand loyalty, but what they did have was a super robust online gaming system. It was ready to play right out of the box. It used broadband, man, out of the box. It brought online gaming to the mainstream pretty much. Xbox Live, it became an empire, an online empire, basically. But the GameCube didn't embrace either of those things. And it didn't really create a hook that it had all to itself either. And that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Now, the GameCube was released on November 18th, 2001, and it had about 720 games released for it, and sold about 21.74 million units worldwide, losing to both the PS2 and the original Xbox. And it was discontinued on February 22nd, 2007, and its last game, which was Madden 08, Madden 2008, came out on August 14th, 2007. That's basically the lifespan of the GameCube right there, it's summed up. Now, what was I going to say? Oh yeah. Now, some of the GameCube's most famous games are Super Smash Bros. Melee, which is still regarded as one of the best Smash Bros. Games of all time. I've played it before, it's pretty freaking cool. And also Mario Kart Double Dash. I think Mario Kart Double Dash is the best Mario Kart they ever made. I really wish they would make Double Dash where you have two characters in the same cart as a mode in the next Mario Kart game they make, or even as DLC for 8 Deluxe on the Switch. That'd be fun. And they also had Zelda Wind Waker, the first two Metroid Primes, Zelda Twilight Princess, the good version of Zelda Twilight Princess, and they had the last F-Zero game, F-Zero GX, best F-Zero in my opinion. They had Kirby Air Ride. I don't hear a lot of people talk about that game, but I do like it a lot. And this thing had the best third-party support of any Nintendo console after the Super Nintendo and before the Switch. Even though it didn't have great third-party support, it was still good, and it still got most big AAA games. The only ones that avoided it were the really huge open-world ones like Grand Theft Auto, which really would have helped this console, because another thing about this console that hurt it was its image. what you have to understand about Nintendo, as the way I understand it, from what I know, I could be wrong about this. You could feel free to correct me if you think I'm wrong. But anyway, Nintendo first came with the NES in 1985, and then the Super NES in 91, and the N64 in 96. The I'm pretty sure the average gamer has started playing games when they were about 6-ish years old. Maybe earlier, like 5, maybe later, like 7, but around 6 years old. And so the gamers who were playing the NES at 6 years old in 1985, or the Super NES at 6 years old in 1991, they were either teenagers or young adults by the time the GameCube came out. And one thing that's notorious about teenagers and young adults is they really do not want to be associated with playing things that are childish, or doing things that are childish or for kids. I think that's also part of the reason why Disney was going through a struggle in the late 90s and throughout most of the 2000s, because the kids who grew up on the Renaissance movies like Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast, sorry, I just moved the table, were basically little kids back then, but they were teenagers and young adults now, and they didn't want to be associated with those Disney movies, which was like known for being for little kids. So that's why Disney struggled for a while. I'm pretty